Hello viewers, welcome to your channel Pharmacypedia. This is Dr. Shikha Chauhan, and in this session I'm going to start with the introductory module of the subject Biostatistics and Research Methodology from BPharm 8th semester. And the topic which we are going to discuss today is Introduction, Statistics, Biostatistics and Frequency Distribution. So this is the introduction module, unit 1 of Biostatistics and Research Methodology. So if you have still not subscribed to my channel Pharmacypedia, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel Pharmacypedia for getting further updates and important content related to pharmacy. So let us try to understand in this session what is statistics, what is biostatistics, what is frequency distribution. So let us first try to understand the statistics. So statistic is basically a science. Now in this science we basically deals with the data and understand the root causes of the data. We try to understand, analyze, classify the different sorts of the data and try to have the proper interpretation and analysis. Yule in 1950 has defined statistics as a method specially adopted to the elucidation of quantitative data affected by a multiplicity of the causes. So simply statistics deals with the deals basically with the data, large number of the data, and we try to understand and elucidate this quantitative data which is then affected by a number of causes. We can have a number of interpretation from this data. So this is the science. Basically in simple terms you can say deals with a lot of data, classification of the data and interpretation of the data. So statistics is basically a scientific field that deals with the collection, classification, description, analysis, interpretation and presentation of the data. So it can be again divided into different types. For example, descriptive statistics, analytical statistics, vital statistics. So when we say the descriptive statistics, as the term indicates descriptives, we are dealing with the large sample size of the population. So what is a population? Population is basically the huge pool of the data from where we take the samples, or sometimes we may study the complete population, since it is very difficult to study and analyze the complete population. So we take a sample from the population and then we try to analyze and interpret the data. Then next is the analytical statistics. As the term indicates, analytical, we are basically trying to get some sort of the inference or the conclusion from the sample of the data. Then vital statistics, as the term indicates, vital, very important. So this type of the data is basically collected by the government agencies which deals with the records of the births, deaths, marriages, divorces and health issues. When talking about the benefits of this biostatistics, so when this data deals with the biological forms, biological experimental analysis, we refer to as the biostatistics. When we try to have the data, we try to have the experiments and we try to get some inference out of it. So biostatistics is a very popular tool, very influential tool by which we can have the set of data and we can analyze the data by using the scientific theory and the probabilities, which helps us in the evaluation and the interpretation of the measurements of the data. So in simple terms, when we apply the rules of the statistics to the biological experimentation, clinical methodology and try to actually assess and evaluate and further interpret the measurements and the data, in that way biostatistics is a very useful tool utilized in the scientific experimentation. So statistics basically is a very powerful tool, and it says the basic root cause is depending on the reasoning capabilities, and especially with the preventive medicines and the pharmacy and clinical medicines and the pharmacy, so it becomes increasingly quantitative. Then next, moving ahead to the population versus sample. So I have told, when you have the huge pool of data, we call it population, and when we drive the small set of the sample to analyze to get some inference, we call it as a sample. So in simple terms, you can say sample is the selected part of a population. Next, moving on to the scale. So basically there are two types of the scale, nominal scale and the ordinal scale. When we say nominal scale, so it is basically a variable. which is measured on a nominal scale and is characterized by the named categories. So basically, no order is being followed in the nominal scale. For example, the patient gender, maybe male or female. So there is no order in which it is being there. Or like any other example, you can take a child age. So it may be a random number. It does not follow any particular order. Next, moving on to the ordinal scale. So, as the term indicates, it is basically referring to those variables whose categories possess a meaningful order. So, there are various categories which may be formed. For example, 0 to 5 years of age or 5 to 10 years of the age of the kids. So, you have a category. So, for example, severity of any disease which can be represented by numbers. For example, 0 without symptoms, 1 with the mild symptoms, or 2 with the moderate. So, we give a number. We are basically trying to form the variables having meaningful order. Next, moving on to the type of the distributions. So what is distribution? Let us try to understand. A distribution is a complete summary of the frequencies or the proportions of characteristics for a series of data from sample or population. So now you understand population. Population is a huge pool of the data. So we take a short sample from it, then we try to understand the frequency, how many times it is being occurring. The frequency, the same number of data appearing again and again. So we call it frequency or the proportions of a characteristics. For example, when we have 0 to 10, how many people are of the 7 years or like 6 years? So that becomes a particular characteristics. Then talking about the distribution, again, it can be defined into several types. For example, binomial distribution, uniform distribution, skewed distribution, normal distribution, log normal distribution, and Poisson's distribution. So like these distribution have different characteristics. We analyze different sorts of the data using these as a helpful tools, and we are going to further discuss in our subsequent videos in detail about these sorts of the distributions. So in brief, we can say the binomial distribution deals exclusively for the type of the distribution of possible outcomes from series of data characterized by two mutually exclusive categories. So binomial, as it is, so there are two mutually exclusive categories that we try to understand. Then uniform distribution, also called as the rectangular distribution. So this is a distribution in which all the events occur with equal frequency. So this is the characteristic feature. All the events occur with an equal frequency. Next, the different type of the distribution, like skew distribution, it may be a positive skew distribution and negative skew. So basically this sorts of the distribution is basically asymmetric in nature. Next, moving ahead to the normal distribution. So normal distribution is also known as the Gaussian distribution and is basically representing a continuous symmetric bell-shaped distribution. So the ideal feature is it is a bell-shaped distribution and can be defined by a number of measures. Log normal distribution, when we apply one side, normal distribution is applied with on a logarithmic scale. Poisson distribution deals with the occurrence of rare events in a population. So there are several diseases which occur rare. So in that case, we can use the Poisson's distribution to analyze and get interference. Next, talking about the frequency distribution. So as I have told earlier, descriptive statistical techniques enable the researchers to numerically describe and summarize a set of data. When we study the frequency, we summarize the data in a set of data. We classify the data, and this data can be represented either by the frequency distribution tables or through the graphs, pictorial presentation of the data. So this is basically the numerical summary of the data, and we can also analyze these representation data using the measures of central tendency, which we are going to discuss in our subsequent videos, and measures of dispersions. Next, talking about the frequency distribution tables. So to understand and explain the data in better terms, the data which have been collected, the data values are sometimes being organized, and this organized data is then again allocated in a table termed as a frequency distribution table. So this type of data basically shows each value which occurs in that data set and how many times each value occurs. So basically we are classifying the data, we are following the data sets first, and then in the data sets we are seeing the frequency, how many times each characteristics value is appearing. So in addition to providing the sense of the shape of the variable distribution, these display and help the researcher and provides them the opportunity to screen the data values for either incorrect or impossible values. So it is a first step for the process known as the cleaning of the data. So the data values are arranged in order from lowest to the highest, and then the frequency with which each value occurs is then tabulated out. So it is very simple to calculate. In my subsequent video, I will be sharing the different examples by which you can clearly understand when we classify the data and how many frequency it appears and what are the different frequency distribution calculation tables. So the frequency of occurrence in each data is expressed in 4 ways. So there are 4 ways whereby we can calculate, we can interpret, and we can analyze the frequency distribution tables. The first is the actual count or the frequency. Frequency, the number of times the characteristic value is appearing. Then relative frequency, well, that is the percent of the total number of values. Then cumulative frequency, which is the total number of observations equal to or less than that value. Then cumulative relative frequency, which signifies the percent of observations equal to or less than that value, and commonly referred to as the percentile. So these are the different ways by which we can have the inference from the frequency distribution tables. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel Pharmacypedia for getting further important updates about the biostatistics. Thank you so much.